Okay, I'm interviewing Mr. Reggie Williams. So the first question is, what is the difference between abuse and discipline?
Discipline is when you correct your kids or whatever. Abuse is when you lay hands on them and have them bruised up, and when you talk about them real bad, where they don't really know what you mean, but it hurts when you say hurtful words, that's abuse.
Okay. Have you ever heard of like emotional abuse? And if so, how would you define it? And if not, what would you think it would be?
Emotional abuse would be more like you tell people things that hurt them as opposed to just beating up. You how do you put it? You play on their emotions and you take them one way or the other. And later on in life, they think back to the things that you've said to them, and it messes with their mind.
So how did you discipline your kids?
How did I? I beat them up. No, we didn't spare the rod, but we didn't have to that often. Most times we talked to them, and they pretty much understood. Or we punished them, like we might take something away, some of their privilege away. But we didn't put them in the corner and say, time out. You know, we didn't. Well, I think we did once or twice, banished them to the room for a little bit. But that's it.
Do you think you have ever pushed the limit to abuse?
No.
So do you think cultures discipline differently?
Who?
Cultures discipline differently?
Yes, they do. They do. I have often said, especially with all the new rules that's come into effect, you can't discipline your child, you can't scream at your child. People call the police if you do something to your child. If you're in the grocery store and you spank your child, people will look at you like you're crazy. So what are you supposed to do? You've got to discipline them some kind of way. I remember when one of the daughters was unruly in the grocery store, and I spanked her behind, and I never had a problem with her anymore.
There you go.
But you do different things.
Yeah.
I also think that people let their kids rule them anymore. That wouldn't work with us.
Yeah.
You know, we're the ones in charge, not you. But you look at the kids today, they tell their parents what to do. And the parents will say, okay, Jimmy, that's fine, but it's not. You know, what's the kid going to do when he grows up? How is he going to respect anybody else if he doesn't respect his parents? So that's where we go with that.
And then how did your parents discipline you, and did you carry that out on your children?
My mom had a stick.
A stick?
No, not really. We got disciplined. We got beaten, as we called them, beatings, because your parents had a strap or a belt that they spanked you with. They took things away. They wouldn't give you certain things. If you asked for things, they wouldn't give it to you. But it never bothered us. I mean, we grew up just fine. Now, some of the things that people call abuse today, I guess my parents would have been in jail. Because seriously, my mom did have a stick at one time. And as a matter of fact, my brother still has that stick.
Oh, wow.
And he can tell stories about what Mama did with that stick. Now, she took that stick and she would beat up on him and at least my two older brothers. But she would take that stick to discipline them when they were fighting each other or stuff like that, or didn't listen to her.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right, we'll show you these two videos. Okay, so here's the first one.
Matt, didn't I tell you to put the dishes away?
First one. And here's-
Didn't I tell you to do the dishes? Didn't I?
That's the abuse part right there.
Okay, so which one, video 1 or 2, is discipline or abuse, and why?
The first one where she just hit him on his behind and told him to go away, he wasn't doing right. But the second one where she pushed him down and had the spoon to beat up on him, that's the abuse part.
Okay, and why would you think that?
Because you're not supposed to be beating up on people like that anymore.
Well, what if people considered the hitting on the butt? What if that considered?
Well, that was just a little tap. That wasn't abusive.
Well, what if it left
She
a bruise?
didn't hit him with anything.
What
She
if it hit a
used her
bruise?
open hand. Had she used her fist,
A fist? So that would
That
you
would be
constitute
abuse.
that a fist?
Yeah.
That's abuse. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
yes, ma'am. You're welcome.